Thank you for joining us on This Is Exclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, just before coming to the studios, we had planned 3 exclusives, but there is a change of plan, a big breaking news development. We were expecting a mini trade deal. Instead, we hear that the trade deal between India and the US could be delayed. We have more than that coming up in the next few minutes. Here are the headlines. Nation above event across India. There is anger over even the thought of getting the Pakistan hockey team on our soil. Hockey Federation is confused. First says there is a go-ahead from the government, then says there is no clarity from the government. The onus is completely on the government, but the government itself is on record just silent. Another video from Bangladesh emerging, proving how Hindus are being selectively targeted by radicals. He addressed Bharat, he spoke to the Prime Minister, and then he interacted with students. Those lucky few who interacted with Group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla, joining us live on the show this evening. And on top of This Is Exclusive, ladies and gentlemen, we had some breaking news input in the last 24 hours that we could have expected a mini trade deal with America. Trump, of course, is looking for headlines. He just announced a trade deal with Vietnam, and he's been talking about a possible trade deal with India. But I have breaking news on the show this evening that there could be a possible delay in the trade deal. That's an exclusive input here on Republic TV, shared by Abhishek Kapoor, our senior executive editor, joining us with the details. He broke the details last night when there was an indication that there could be a breakthrough, perhaps a mini breakthrough, that some sort of an announcement could have been made last night. But now the big update coming in, with the Indian delegation returning from America, with trade negotiators returning to Delhi after a week in Washington, D.C. The team led by Rajesh Agrawal, the Special Secretary in the Commerce Ministry, has returned, and we are hearing from our top sources that there is a stalemate on agriculture, there is a stalemate on auto sector, there is a stalemate in steel and aluminium sectors, and that is where there seems to be some hard bargaining on by India. Pranav is live with me. Pranav, all of these are indicators that perhaps there is a delay, and the delay is looking inevitable. In fact, last night we had details that possibly, the trade deal could have been announced today, or mini trade deal at least, some sort of understanding, some indication of which direction we are going in. We were hoping for a formal announcement. Instead, we are hearing that there is a deadlock on several sectors.
Yes, Niranjan. In fact, the trade deal was supposed to conclude. We'd heard very specifically that before 9th of July, the trade deal was supposed to get concluded. And, there was a mini trade deal that was supposed to be signed, and a bigger, a larger deal was supposed to be signed later this year when Donald Trump comes for the Quad. But as of now, what we're hearing is that there is a deadlock. The deadlock is primarily around agriculture sector, where US wants more access to India's agriculture sector, but then India is not budging from its stand, because agriculture is extremely important for job creation and the larger good of the Indian economy.
Yeah. Now on the sectors, right? On steel, aluminium, in some of these sectors, America has always played hardball. And in fact, very interestingly, you had Piyush Goyal, the Commerce Minister, a few minutes back, saying to the media that we will sign a deal when there is a good deal. So obviously, India is also playing hardball with America. Many years back, and I can tell you, Pranav, when we covered the Prime Minister's visit to the US, I think it was 2019, even then the FTA was a point of discussion. 5 years on, we are still talking about a deal, which shows that even India is not willing to give in.
Absolutely, absolutely, Niranjan. In fact, if you remember, initially when the talks began, India wanted a zero trade on some of the products such as pharmaceuticals, auto sector, and that's where US did not budge. And now we are seeing a new India which is saying no to certain things. This is exactly the same stand that India had taken when it came to agricultural products with the EU and Australia. So we have a precedent in that way, and it shows that we are not budging from what exactly New Delhi wants right now.
Thank you for that, Pranav. I also have Abhishek Kapoor, who broke that story, joining us live right now. So I'll quickly get in a word from Abhishek as well. Abhishek, what's going on? Because we know that many in America have been campaigning against India. Trump himself, he's completely confused. He says one thing today, another tomorrow. What is the real delay? What is holding it back, Abhishek?
Well, you see, going by Trump, Niranjan, the United States has already signed a trade deal with China at least twice in the last month. And yet we have no details. So that apart, I think if you read between the lines of the developments that have taken place, if you read the lips of Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal and the fact that India's team of negotiators led by Chief Negotiator Rajesh Agrawal has just returned from Washington, D.C. after delaying their return, after extending their return. They were supposed to come back by June 30th, but they have come today just a couple of hours back is what I am told. And that really gives you an idea of the kind of intense negotiations that are going on, and that maybe there is a stalemate, which means that the possibility of meeting the July 9 deadline, which is of course an American deadline, seems difficult if not remote. So while we continue to maintain, Niranjan, based on our conversations with sources in the Commerce Ministry, that there are talks of a bare bones mini deal, which is going to thrash out details about, general tariffs in terms of what India can give and what United States can take. But sector-specific stalemate continues, and these are some big ticklish issues. For example, the issue of GM crops, which America is pushing aggressively. The issue of steel and aluminum have massive tariffs already at about 50%, against which India has already approached the World Trade Organization under the disputes redressal mechanism. So I think clubbed together, if you look at all these developments, Niranjan, I think we are looking at a stalemate between India and the United States in the trade deal. Mini deal possible by July 9, but no indication as yet of what would be the contours of it.
Thank you for joining us with those inputs. Abhishek Kapoor breaking that story. Let's move on now. And the next big story, ladies and gentlemen, is from Mumbai. In fact, just coming into our newsrooms right now, some people were celebrating early, thinking the Disha Salian case is shut and that there's a clean chit. Getting in big breaking news now, a big comment coming in from the government of Maharashtra. A minister in the Maharashtra government has just confirmed, saying that the Disha Salian case is not closed. There is a temporary report. He's saying that it's a temporary report, and no one has been given a clean chit in the Disha Salian case. Saying that until the final report is submitted, there is no question of giving anybody a clean chit. The matter can be discussed further. Once the final report is out, investigation is ongoing. So there were headlines across some sections of the media saying that the Disha Salian case is shut. Everyone's got a clean chit. It appears to be fake news. I have the minister's bite. Can I please play the soundbite out of Shambhuraj Desai, the Maharashtra minister?
दिशा सालियन का रिपोर्ट फाइनल नहीं है। अभी गृह राज्य मंत्री से मेरी बात हुई है, वो इंटरिम फाइंडिंग्स है, फाइनल फाइंडिंग्स अभी तक आए नहीं है। और जो इंटरिम भी अगर फाइंडिंग्स दिए, उसमें किसी को भी क्लीन चिट नहीं दी गई है। ऐसा ये जब तक फाइनल रिपोर्ट नहीं आता है, तब तक किसी को क्लीन चिट देने का कोई सवाल नहीं खड़ा रहता। जब फाइनल रिपोर्ट आएगा तब इसके बारे में बात। इन्वेस्टिगेशन ऑनगोइंग है।
All right, that was a big breaking news update on the show. We quickly wanted to get you that. But the biggest talking point across India, on the 22nd of April, Pakistan sent terrorists to Pahalgam and killed 26 Indians. Why should we, in just a few weeks since the Pahalgam terror attack, welcome the Pakistani hockey team, who, by the way, have taken sides and are abusing India? Why should we welcome them and let them play on our soil? There is anger across India. I have a breaking news update that there is a view And I don't know who these people are in the sports ministry who are worried about a charter. Getting in breaking news now that there is a view within the sports ministry that they will face consequences about the Olympic charter mandate. Some in the sports ministry, even after Pahalgam, even after the war with Pakistan, worried about the Olympic charter, stating that every individual must have access to practice of sport without discrimination of any kind. For God's sake, this is what some in the sports ministry are saying that they are worried about, that there could be adverse implications for India. There's complete confusion in some sections of the government. This is the breaking news update that some are worried about a charter. I want to go across to Soumya. Soumya, there is so much anger and people are asking what is wrong with us as a nation? Why are we still worried about a charter?
Yes, well, see, there's a nationwide outrage and the debate has intensified on this. However, the sources within the sports ministry, and now not just the sports ministry, the Sports Authority of India, the sources within the Sports Authority of India as well, have gone on to citing the Olympics Charter. Two things within the Olympics Charter, one being the Olympics Charter mandate and the other being the non-discrimination principle under the Olympics Charter that prohibits discrimination on the basis of nationality and ensures that all qualified athletes get to compete in an international competition. And if any country decides to not abide by that, they will face isolation and also lose the hosting rights on international platforms. So this is what the sources within the sports ministry and now also the Sports Authority of India are quoting. They're quoting this reason to giving a green light to the Pakistani team to travel to India and to participate and be a part of the Asia Cup 2025. So now remember, an important point to note here is that any team that participates in the Asia Cup and goes on to win the Asia Cup, they ultimately qualify for the World Cup, which is also slated to take place next year in 2026. So these are the developments that we are picking up with regards to why the sports ministry thought that they want to go ahead with giving its green light to Pakistani team to travel and participate in the Asia Cup.
Stay with me. You know what is even more surprising is the stand taken by Hockey India, and that's my next breaking news update. There is complete confusion within the Hockey India body as well. Now, there are some in the Hockey India Federation who are saying that the onus is on the government. Some are saying it's on the government. Some are saying waiting to hear from the government, and there are others who say there is no clarity. So there are some in Hockey India who are saying that we are waiting to hear from the government. There are some who are saying that the government has allowed it, and there are some who are saying there is still no clarity. So we don't know which version of Hockey India to believe, but here is Dilip Tirki. Here's what Dilip Tirki said while speaking to Republic earlier today. This is an exclusive input. He spoke to us. Here's what he said.
अब तक हमारे पास हॉकी इंडिया के पास मिनिस्ट्री की ओर से, गवर्नमेंट की ओर से ऑफिशियली कम्युनिकेशन कुछ आया नहीं है, अब तक मिला नहीं है. आप लोगों के जरिए, मीडिया के जरिए हमें सुनने को मिल रहा है.
सो मिस्टर टिर्की, क्या आप हॉकी फेडरेशन क्या मिनिस्ट्री से ये क्वेश्चन उठाएगा कि क्यों अलाउ किया जा रहा है पाकिस्तानी टीम को, और वो भी जो पहलगाम टेरर अटैक के बाद जब हमने सारे टाइज अभी बंद कर दिए हैं, तो क्या ये क्वेश्चन नहीं उठ रहा है? क्योंकि ये लोगों के बीच में भी यही सेंटिमेंट्स है कि क्यों अलाउ किया जा रहा है इस टाइम पे.
हॉकी इंडिया हमेशा हम ये कहते आ रहे हैं कि गवर्नमेंट के डिसीजन जैसा कहेंगे, जैसा आप ऑर्डर देंगे, उसी के मुताबिक हम चलेंगे. आज भी हमारे स्टैंड वही रहे. जिस हिसाब से गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया हमें फिर डायरेक्शन देंगे, उस हिसाब से हम चलेंगे.
तो कब तक एक्सपेक्टेड है कि एक फाइनल कंफर्मेशन इंडियन हॉकी फेडरेशन को मिल जाए फ्रॉम स्पोर्ट्स मिनिस्ट्री कि पाकिस्तानी टीम ट्रैवल कर रही है कि नहीं इंडिया में?
देखिए, अभी कहना मुश्किल है. जैसे मैंने कहा कि आपके जरिए हमें मालूम पड़ा है, सुनने को मिल रहा है. जैसे ऐसे कुछ डिसीजन लिया है तो मिनिस्ट्री हमें बताएंगे. और लेकिन हम काम स्टार्ट कर दिए हैं, जारी रखे हैं कि राजगिरी एक अपकमिंग हॉकी वेन्यू बनने जा रहा है. और एशिया का भी काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट टूर्नामेंट है हॉकी की दृष्टि से, एशियन हॉकी की दृष्टि से, और मैंडेटेड है वर्ल्ड कप क्वालिफिकेशन। और जो भी चैंपियन होते हैं इस टूर्नामेंट में, एशिया कप में, वो डायरेक्ट क्वालिफाई करते हैं वर्ल्ड कप के लिए। उसके हिसाब से काफ़ी इम्पोर्टेंट चैंपियनशिप रहा है। लेकिन देखिए फाइनल अभी भी हम लोग वेट कर रहे हैं मिनिस्ट्री के ओर से क्लियरेंस के लिए, और जैसे हमें क्लियरेंस मिल जाती है हम उस हिसाब से काम और आगे बढ़ाएंगे।
We've just gotten a video and I'm leaving you with this video. This is a video that's come in off the one high container which is still ablaze. We broke that story earlier today. We felt that the fire had doused, but the container has been burning for over a month. So there are many questions being raised. This is a video, by the way, that was recorded at 6:33 p.m. So breaking the story, keeping you way ahead on that story, leaving you with raw footage of the firefighting operations that are on about 100 nautical miles off the coast of Kerala. Thanks for watching.